Shubor nakaslem jong unong san Hima.
Unang ruay papaho Jong ka jela uba lu Majaw mentakas ngi ka praterik ulaber arhajar Pyllait ula Pyllait Paidbah ya ka kwat poetry Jong ka kong Riniki Chakravarti Marwen kabla ai kerteng Brittle Hadlands Cafe. Kani ka poetry ka dei halor ka jinglong khana ka longian ka jing iet ka jingdo bat ki jing kan mau bat kum ju ru halor kum no ba ka kong Riniki kalaile persai ki jing e ha ka por bawan ling shop ka klam covid khat khandai. Ha kani ka singi Pyllait ya kani ka kwat layo aru ban snap iki khana ha ka baye dei bat kumnu ka kong Riniki ka sedang ban yo jingmot ban tho iki poetry uba lu Majaw ulapan pau ya ka jing kemen bolai dan bentalang bat kum ju ru la ai ka jing ero ya ka kong Riniki.
During the pandemic, so I had a lot of time, and I can't imagine writing a poetry book now. You know, there's a lot of things happening and all that. But I like I said, I got a lot of support from my husband because I had to stay up late, right? Because as a mother, when I was done with the chores and having made my kids sleep, I could come to and aside and sit in that in the office room at home and start writing. So actually say the same about how life is outside the pandemic, especially if you apply if you talk about Shillong work life, where even the moms are such busy beings. So I think that as women who have kids and a busy husband, like in my case, we need to be disciplined enough to give those personal hours to us, to ourselves.
Above all, a woman, and then a mother, and a wife. So these are the three things which makes the Brittle very, very interesting. And it's not for me to recite a poem because the best thing is, by doing that, I will cripple the economy. So the idea not to cripple the economy is by buying Brittle. Okay, please do that. And keep on reading and enjoy reading. And as far as reading in Shillong, forget about Shillong. It's the entire Northeast, is the entire country. We have Art and Culture Hall, which has tons and tons and tons of books. You won't believe it. Every year, the government is spending crores of rupees to buy the books. And when I went and checked, hey, what happened to all those books after all these years? So there's hardly any people who doesn't need reading because they are too busy with the cell phones, and that's what, especially when lots of think tanks, they want to make Shillong into a smart city. But they fail to realize that to make a smart city, you must have a clean city. That will prove, that will show to the world that you are smart. It's not the Shillong city that is smart, but it is you. Thank you very much.
For us in school, many children, we try really hard to ask them to read, and we try to do small reading sessions with the children themselves. If the teacher does that with the smallies, then they find it interesting, but if we ask them to do it on their own, they don't really find it interesting. And I think it's because of that. They like it better if things like if they have a television in class and be able to watch that, or go home, see it, watch whatever they have to see on their phones. But reading from a textbook, from a book, a storybook, is something which I don't think they're really fond of right now. But when Harry Potter series came out, actually, that's the time when many young people got back to read books again. That's what happened in our school. But after that series ended, the reading habit stopped again. And I think it's because of what the content was. I think they were very fascinated with the way she wrote and what was there for them. I think they associated with that much better. But today it's very, it's very rare to see someone who, of course there are a few children, but I'm saying generally, not many are interested in reading. And that's something which I really want them to do because I know the importance and I know the benefits that they would get from that.
See, we have to go back to history. We are an oral history people. and we grew up listening to our elders. We were more of a storytelling people. We got our script very late in 1841, and I think also it takes time to cultivate reading habits. Possibly it may be that our parents or maybe our grandparents didn't have the luxury of being able to buy books, to push us into reading books, because when you look at the world today, parents surround their kids with books. And I think we have also learned with time that reading is very valuable, reading is very empowering, reading is very informing and educating. Without reading, if you read only your school and college books or only the prescribed books, you're not going to get too far.
That's a very good question. Actually, I struggled a lot. Like you said, I was not a serious student of literature, and poetry involves a lot of structure, a lot of rhyme, a lot of music, and then I had to study a lot about how to end a line with what certain word. So yeah, it was very difficult. And in poetry, you have to shift from one premise to another, unlike prose. So it was a challenge for me, but I really worked hard. Then went to Telugu University to do my masters in mass comm and journalism, and then I got a job in Bombay, and I worked there for the media industry for 4 years before I eventually left for Singapore. And I spent 15 years in Singapore, and my husband recently got transferred to Delhi. So we're going to be here for 3 years. It's just nice to be back home. So the book was written during the pandemic, and there was a lot of looking back because I couldn't come to India, to Meghalaya. I was very anxious, I was very worried about my parents and my siblings, and I tried to nurse that anxiety with a lot of reading, and I read a lot of poem books, and those poem books in fact gave me the permission to write my own book here. So this is my little triumph over the COVID. I just got a story about this disabled couple. So these two people plan to get married soon, and so I'm kind of working around them, working a script for a documentary film with them. Yeah.